What's up guys, it's Matt with BleepinJeep.com, and today I want to talk to you about this. Any guess what that is? Here's a hint. My t-shirt. Yep, if you guessed an XJ frame strengthener by Rough Stuff, you got it right. Now, I told you before that I'm going to try to do more explaining in my videos, so I'm going to start with that right now. As you know, the XJ, or the Cherokee, is a great platform for wheeling, but when Jeep first designed it, I don't think they intended us to use it in the way that we do. A lot of people say that the Cherokee does not have a frame, but I tend to disagree with that. It does have a frame, it's just tied in with the unibody, and therefore it's not quite as strong as a frame, say, that you can take the body and separate it from the frame. This is all tied in together. So, to stiffen your frame, Rough Stuff has come up with these. It's pretty lightweight for what it is, but it's still heavy duty enough to strengthen up the frame quite a bit. Now, when you go off-roading or rock crawling, now this, you probably don't need frame strengtheners if you just go out on the weekends once a month or once a year and do some light duty stuff. But if you're into heavy rock crawling, you want to strengthen the frame, because what happens over time, you are flexing, and eventually you will get a crack in the frame somewhere, and eventually it'll start ripping it apart. Now, you don't want that. So Rough Stuff has come up with these frame strengtheners. Now what you're going to do to install these is remove the skid plate, the belly pan, and there's an option on here for you to use it with or without the long arms. Now, if you don't have long arms, you can just cut this end piece off right here, weld it on up. If you do have the long arms, you fold this up, weld it over where that bracket for the upper control arm links used to be. So let me show you where this goes. Alright, so if you look under here, you'll notice that I removed the belly pan, or the skid plate, whatever you want to call it. Now, if you have the long arm, you want to remove that. Make sure to get everything off of this frame rail. And another thing I've cut for the long arm, I've cut the bracket for the upper control arm mounts off, because you don't need that when you're doing a long arm. In this case, I'm going to do a 4-link. But you don't need to do anything, though, with the rear spring mounts. You can keep those right there. Now, the next thing you'll need is to be able to weld, or have a welding friend of some sort, and you'll need a few jacks. Let's put this in place. So the first thing I'll do is put it on a jack, balance it, and slide it into place. Now what I'm looking for is all of the places that I need to grind. And you can see that there are cuts in this, and those are meant so that you can bend it. The frame on the Cherokee here has a bunch of turns and bends in it, so they've accommodated by making these cuts so that you can use a jack it up in place, and bend it. And weld it. So you've got a few options, though. You can start in the middle and tack it and then move along with your jack, or you can use several jacks and jack it all into place. But before you start welding, you want to make sure, what I would do is mark all of these spots where you're going to be welding. That way you can get the grinder out and grind all of this smooth, so that you will have a good welding penetration, not have to deal with all that dirt and rust, which isn't going to weld very well at all. So if you look at the back here, you'll notice that it's perfectly cut. It goes flush up against your rear spring mounts here. And then let's make some little marks here where we want to grind, so that we'll have good weld. You'll also see that it's beveled in just the right angle for the frame. And behind that, it has a bevel here. You bend that up, weld it, so it goes just a little past the rear spring perch. Right in the middle, it's got two cutouts to make the bends there. And then on the front we'll have one major bend which comes up and goes up the frame rail for about 10 inches. Now on the bottom here it's got cutouts for the bolt holes for the cross member, so make sure you get those lined up. And then it also has some cutouts so that you'll have more surface area when you go to weld this thing up. The more weld the better. So let's jack this thing up here. You'll want to start somewhere in the middle. Like I've got this block here in the middle. Let's see what happens. When we push that up, you can see it bending. And then you can push that up, and now we're flush. On this entire back section here, you'll see that angles down a little bit. Now once you're satisfied you've got it in the right place, you can go ahead and start tacking it up here in the middle somewhere. We've already got this rear section pushed up in its proper place, so now once you get that tacked good, you'll move this jack up towards the front and bend this front section up into place. That's it right there. Okay, now you can leapfrog the jacks again, and you'll need to push this last piece up into place. Now this one has to go up and kind of back at an angle. So let's see what happens here. There. Alright guys, check that out. Now all you need to do is tack that front up and then weld the entire thing on, put everything back together and rock it. Now I have to be honest with you, I would love to weld all this up and be done with it, but I can't use this kit, and that is because I am installing a double triangulated 4-link kit, front and rear, and the kit that I bought for that does not mesh up or go with this kit here. So I am still going to use this, but I'm going to modify it to use it more towards the front and more towards the back, because with this 4-link and the larger tires, I'm going to have ORIs, and I'm going to have a lot of stress at the shock hoops up front and rear. This thing will come in handy up there. But for 99% of you guys, this thing is going to work perfect. It's made to work well with your long arm kit that you already have, whether you have Rusty's or Rough Country or Rubicon Express. This thing still has the bolt holes under here for the cross member, and everything should work for you guys. But you'll be seeing this again soon. We're going to modify it, use it on the front and the rear. But if you'd like to get you a set of these, check out roughstuff.com. They're fairly inexpensive, and as you saw, it was a pretty easy install. All I would have to do at this point is just weld it up. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to check out the website roughstuff.com and BleepinJeep.com. We've got hats and t-shirts, all kinds of great stuff for you there. BleepinJeep.com. We'll see you in the next video.